G'day guys, Benny Wise up here at the Sherwins. Got a little bit of power to try and give this DC board a little bit of a workout, see what it's like. As you just saw, that was me up at the top of the Sherwins with this board right here. This is a DC House of Powder. Got this board last spring, gave it a little rip up on the Sherwins, rode it in some wet, heavy power, rode in some really good power, put it away, brought it back out this winter, took it out at Mammoth at the start of the season, was riding it on the groomers, riding on ice, hard pack, rode it through some powder just last week. It was a little low tide, so I tagged a few rocks, but really gave this board a bit of a workout in all sorts of conditions, so thought I'd give it a review. These reviews aren't going to be super tech or anything like that. I'm just going to give you the down and dirty on how I feel about a snowboard and how it works in different conditions. If you're looking for more in-depth stuff, for sure, write me a comment. I'll go deeper and do a deeper dive into the board later on for you. So again, DC House of Powder. I got it in medium. I weigh 210. I'm about 6'1", and I ride 21.5 inches wide. And you know, I probably maxed this board out for my weight and size. I think I could have went up to the large. This board comes in small, medium, and large. I definitely would have went to large, but still super fun ride. Definitely held up. I just think I kind of maxed this board out a little bit. Let's talk first about flex. This is a very soft board. As powder boards go, and any snowboard goes, this is a pretty soft board. And usually when the board is so soft, once it starts to get choppy and chundery and things like that, you really start to feel the board sort of bounce and skip, and just it doesn't really plow through the chop. I found this one, when you put it on edge through any hard pack, through any chop, it just plowed through like it would with a stiffer board with heavier construction. This board's super light. It seems like a very simple construction. I really enjoyed it. The softness in the powder made it super playful. I found it high speed on the groomers. This thing wasn't chattering or anything like that, like soft boards will. I found it great on ice, held an edge, everything like that. Ice, chunder, wet, heavy snow, light, dry power. It was really, really good. What can I say? What else? The shape of it, the side cut, pretty mellow. You know, it feels like any average radius, not too big, not too small. Definitely, you get a little bit out of the tail. Really enters into the turn easy. Gives you a little bit out of the tail, but not enough that you're really popping out of the turn. You really have to kind of work the board to get that pop and snap that you might get out of a regular directional board. But I found it really fun. A little bit more work to get it over the edge because of the width up here at the nose. So definitely have to work a little bit more there, but with the width at the tail, you can sort of just ride the tail. And again, it is a powder board, so you're usually riding it on the back foot and kind of back foot steering your way through it all. As it goes with the shape, camber, which is what I love. You know, nothing too crazy. Big, long nose here, help you float out over the powder. Into nice amount of camber in here, so that when you're on the hard pack, you're not feeling like the board's just going to slide out on you like V-rocker or reverse camber will. You know, we got it right the first time. I love camber. I'm yet to really ride a reverse camber board that does great in all conditions. My split board is reverse camber, or one of them is. I like it, but if I hit hard pack, it's scary. So I always like a little bit of camber in my powder boards. Nothing crazy going on in the tail. It just comes out normal. Just a little short kick. Really, really fun ride on all conditions. Next thing I wanted to get into was the base. You know, DC did a great job on this base, I have to say. One of the fastest bases I've ridden in a board like this. Definitely comes out of the shop with a nice little grind in it. All in all, it's a sintered base, it's a fast base, it'll take wax really, really well. I like waxing my boards a lot. It gives them a little more strength when they do hit things. But first time I rode this straight out of the wrapper up at the Sherwins, I hit a rock and thought I'd broken the board. And all I did was just this one little indent here. Really, really thought that was going to be through to the core. And it wasn't. So again, for such a light, board, it really is a tough board. Rode this last week at Mammoth, low tide. Definitely got into some spots where there's some, shark fins underneath there. Jumped off a rock, landed in a field of rocks. Definitely took a chunk out of the base, but I thought this board was done. When I landed on that, hit that, and then plowed through another 5 of those, thought this board was toast. But as you can see, just a few scratches. So I'll give it to DC. I love this base. Definitely love this base. What else can I say about this board? As it goes for power boards, if you want to hit jumps on a power board, hit jumps on this. Did a couple of spins, rode some towers, just for funsies. You can do that as well. But obviously it's a powder board, so it's not made for that stuff. But if you want to do it, a lot of people are doing it these days. Just again, good all-round board. Found at high speed. It didn't chatter, and you would expect that from a soft board like this. So, all in all, I think it's a great board. I'm going to give it 8 out of 10 for snowboards, and it's the first ever Bennywise rating. Yeah, I would recommend this board to anyone. Your intermediate to advanced rider can handle this board for sure. I wouldn't really put the beginner on it, but an intermediate to advanced rider, anyone can handle it. Again, if you weigh more than 210, I would suggest going to the large. If you're over 6 foot, for sure I'd go to the large. But anyone underneath me can ride this medium for sure and have a great time doing it. So that's all I got, trendsetters. If you want to know more about this board, for sure, put some comments in the bottom there. I can fill you in on what you want. I'll put a link to the board on the YouTube channel as well. Thanks, everyone.